used any sedative drugs or anything like that. And, you know, we have cooperated fully with the police. We'll answer any queries.
There's absolutely no evidence that Madeleine is dead, and there's absolutely no evidence that we were involved in her disappearance.
They're actually the pyjamas that Madeleine was wearing when she was taken.
Madeleine McCann was just days away from her 4th birthday when she disappeared on the evening of May 3, 2007. The McCanns, a British family, were on holiday in Praia da Luz, Portugal. That night, Kate McCann's scream, "They've taken her," sparked an international search and catapulted Madeleine into the public eye as one of the most recognized missing children in modern history. From day one, Kate and Gerry McCann insisted their daughter was abducted. They believed someone had been watching them and had chosen that moment to strike. The couple described the abduction as a calculated act, possibly committed by a predator or a human trafficker who had observed the family's routine. Each night, the McCanns and their group of friends, later called the Tappers 7, left their children asleep in their respective apartments while dining nearby at a tappers bar. They checked on them every 30 minutes. That night, within what they believe was a tiny 2-minute window, Madeleine was taken. That's their version of events, and it's the one they continue to defend. But there's another side to the story. Welcome to Wendys class. In this series, we go deeper than the headlines. We examine the details, the inconsistencies, and the evidence, both public and buried, that could change how you see this case. Did you kill your daughter? No. Absolutely not, Gerry McCann answered. Some Portuguese investigators believed Madeleine died accidentally in the apartment and that her parents hid the body. But the McCanns pushed back. If the only time Madeleine was left alone was during dinner, when could they have hidden a body without being seen? It just doesn't make sense, Gerry argued. But evidence doesn't always appear in public statements. Sometimes, it's found in the overlooked, like phone logs, altered witness statements, or the behavior of specially trained dogs. In July 2007, 2 British sniffer dogs were brought in, Eddie, trained to detect the scent of human remains, and Keela, trained to detect human blood. In video footage, both dogs alerted inside apartment 5A and later, a car rented by the McCanns 3 weeks after Madeleine's disappearance. In most investigations, these kinds of findings would shift the focus entirely. In this case, they became part of a much larger, more controversial narrative. There were clues, circumstantial and forensic evidence that raised questions. In future episodes, we'll explore controversial DNA results and expert analysis. But for now, let's go back to where it started. The McCanns, Gerry, Kate, and their 3 children, Madeleine, and twins Sean and Amelie, were staying at the Ocean Club Resort with 7 friends. The resort featured kids' clubs, tennis courts, and multiple apartments spread across several buildings. The McCanns stayed in apartment 5A, a ground-floor flat with a patio and side entrance, details that would become critical later. The first night, they dined at the resort's main restaurant. But the walk was long and inconvenient. From the second night on, the group ate at the Tappers Bar, less than 100 meters from their apartments. Instead of using the resort's babysitting service, they took turns checking on their sleeping children. In interviews, Gerry likened it to eating in your back garden. But the apartment wasn't visible from the bar. 2 routes led to 5A, one through the pool gate and patio, the other a longer walk around to the front door. Both required leaving the restaurant for several minutes. On May 3rd, the McCanns followed their usual routine. The kids attended daycare during the day, swam in the pool in the afternoon, and returned to the apartment early, reportedly more tired than usual. Around 6:30 p.m., David Payne, a family friend, stopped by to check on Kate and the children. He would be the last person outside the family to see Madeleine alive. At 8:35 p.m., the McCanns arrived at the Tappers Bar. The group began their child-checking routine. At 9:05, Jerry checked 5A and said Madeleine was asleep. On his way back, he chatted with another guest, Jeremy Wilkins. At around 9:10 p.m., Jane Tanner, another member of the group, walked past the men and claimed she saw a man carrying a child in pajamas. Strangely, neither Jerry nor Jeremy recalled seeing her, or the man she described. At 9:30, Matthew Oldfield offered to check on the McCann children. He entered 5A through the back, but didn't see Madeleine. Her bed was out of his line of sight. He saw the twins asleep and assumed all was fine. At 10 p.m., Kate did her own check. She found Madeleine gone. She ran back to the bar shouting, "They've taken her." Friends and guests searched the resort, calling Madeleine's name. But Portuguese police were immediately suspicious, especially when Kate left the twins alone in the apartment again to raise the alarm. The world's eyes were now on prior DA Luz. The McCann's actions, leaving the children unattended, their calm in public, the inconsistencies in witness timelines, all became part of the narrative. From that night on, suspicion, theories, and headlines never stopped. In the months that followed, the McCanns would be named Arguido's formal suspects, before being cleared in 2008. More than a decade later, after global media coverage and tens of millions spent on the investigation, Madeleine McCann is still missing. In our next episode, we'll unpack the critical 12 hours after her disappearance and explore the evidence, statements, and contradictions that have kept this case alive for nearly 2 decades. If you're finding this series insightful, subscribe, and don't miss what's coming next. The search for truth is far from over.